my name is C, and today I have my favorite videos of the year for you guys. This is my year in review. So we're gonna go through every single thing that I completed this year for a total of 50 kits. Technically there's only 49 in these piles. One of them was from my coworker, but I will get into that once we hit that point. So yeah, this is gonna be a long one. So grab yourself a snack, a drink, maybe you're diamond painting, whatever, and settle in for a bit because I got a lot to talk about. This is my logbook, so I will have this beside me to flip through. I do have some fun stats for us at the very end, but I figure we should go through all the kits that I completed first, and then we can get into those fun numbers. So let's jump right on into it. This is a heavy pile of kits. I'm hoping you can see everything a-okay, and I get this. We have some good lighting right now, but the sun does set in a couple of hours, so we'll see. This might need to be 2 parts, but anyways, here is the very first finish of the year. This is Floating Dream by Laura Poutrot from Diamond Artisan. This was my very first kit of the year and worked up very quickly. I started it January 1st, finished it on the 2nd for number 1 for the year, and 153 overall. I started diamond painting in 2018, so that number has been running since then. I will only mention it here and with one other kit. 2 others at the very end in a special one. So, this was so much fun. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll do it. So it's a round kit, 40 by 60, 34 colors, 3 ABs, 2 crystals. I adored working on this kit. Every year I try to start, like the first kit I complete or work on is from a new to me shop. This is the 2nd year in a row I did it, and I'm so happy I did. I adored working on this kit. Laura has quickly become one of my favorite artists to purchase kits from. She does these very dreamy, soft, like lo-fi style artworks that usually have a cat hidden somewhere within the image, whether it's front and center like this, or sometimes he's off to the bottom, but usually there's a cat somewhere in the kit, and I adore it. The crystals you can see are sprinkled throughout the sky there. I remember I made some sort of change. Oh, so actually, for these first few kits, my memory isn't the greatest, so I will be looking back at my notes. There is pink crystals sprinkled throughout the sky there. Originally, that was a plain color. And I put in a crystal so it better matches the pattern here. So that was a lot of fun. Any kits that I make changes to, actually I'll put this in here. In the description of this video, you will see my month in review playlist, a post review playlist, and most likely my vlog playlist. All 3 of those will be there, so if you want in the moment's thoughts about working on some of these kits, and changes that I made that I may not have remembered or written down fully, those more in-depth views will be listed down below. So, this was number 1. I had so much fun working on it, and I truly love this kit. So, I think I'm gonna move on to the next one now. Yeah, I just love the rendering, especially the water down here and like the pink transition into the dark blues. So pretty. Okay, I'm just gonna toss this aside and hopefully we have enough room. The second kit that I finished was actually these teeny tiny little mini dazzlers. This was in the Christmas advent from last year, not the current year. And I started these on the 3rd, finished them on the 7th for number 2 of the year. They are squares, 10.2 by 15.2. These are completely fairy dust colors. I didn't write down a count. With one of these large oversized crystals right in the center there, which I thought was so much fun. There's some AVs in here too. But like, look at that, right on his nose there. Adorable. And then we have our little elf with a gift. So yeah, these little mini dazzles are so much fun. And I can't wait to find another kit that has these quad cubes in it. They are so neat. So yeah, and I count the full set mini dazzlers, like all 6 of these, as one kit. So these were really fun to work on and a nice little tiny project. Okay, number 3. I started this November 11th, 2024, finished it January 12th. It is a square kit, 50 by 75. Oh, the mini set is from Diamond Art Club. I didn't say that. 50 by 75, 52 colors, and I added 2 metallics and 6 glimmers. So I wrote down that this, either I could have gone up a size, or this really would have been a nice size point for the pixel charting, like the hand charting. This is from Jaded Gem Shop. Because this is computer rendered, and you can really see that like within her arm and the hair and that like that pixelated look. So I wrote down that at this size point it would have been great for hand charting, or I should have gone up a size to remove some of that confetti. These specials I added were actually the blues in our flowers here. I really wanted those to shine, and I added metallics and glimmers and all of that in their jewelry. So I thought that was a lot of fun. But I do love the rendering. Like at this pulled out view, there's the very bottom of the kit and there's the top. I think it looks really good. Some details that are lost is like the leaves in the background. She actually has wings and you can't quite see that back there. But yeah, I do think that detail is a little bit lost, but the hair looks really nice. Like these reds and this brown, super pretty. Okay, so that is kit number 3 for the year. Oh, I forgot to say, I could say it at this point. There is 5 mystery kits in this pile. I will have them flipped over so you have a quick second to skip ahead or look away if you would like. It is 3 of the Jaded Gem Shop Crafters Den Mysteries, Winter, Spring, Summer. My fall did not arrive yet, so I did not get that done this year. The Makemarket Fall Mystery, one of those, and diamondartstudiouk chart to art kits. I will let you know before I flip anything over, but just those are in this pile somewhere. Alright, I'm gonna go over the stats and then I will flip it over. So this is the Winter Mystery from Jaded Gem Shop. I actually did not write down the artist. I started January 3rd, finished it on the 22nd. It is a square kit, 45 by 60 centimeters, 57 colors, and it came with 3 crystals, 2 glimmers, 2 metallics. So I am going to flip this over now. All right. I thought this was stunning. These mysteries are so much fun. So if you didn't know, Sophie, the Diamond Help Desk, created a Discord server called the Crafters Den. So Jaded Gem Shop has been doing these, or she did. I don't know what's going on with it now. But she did quarterly mysteries for all of us to work on together as like a group thing, mini event, if you would. So this was number 4, and this was the winter one. And it is so pretty. Like you could see the metallics along her clothing there, the crystals in the windows, and her earrings. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was a white glimmer that was sprinkled in here. So very pretty kit. The very first one of these mysteries was not hand rendered. Like you could choose whatever size you want. It was computer rendered. And then for the second one, Jade actually picked the size and did a hand rendered piece, which I am happy for that change. I think it looks gorgeous. This one specifically was a lot of fun to work on, and again, this was a mystery, so all of the symbols were white and black in the background, and then it kind of came together. It is so much fun to do these, especially since sometimes we get just general colors or themes. Sometimes we get the artist, so we can kind of have an idea of the style, but really we know nothing about these kits, and I love that. I've bought every single one so far, and I have had a joy working on them. So yeah, I think that's all I wrote down. My notes here says, stunning kit, rendering was done well, special drills placed beautifully, and I have to agree with that. And I really love the colors in her hair in that too. So pretty. Okay, so that was number 4 for the year. I'm going to move this away now. Okay, mystery out of view. I'm gonna pause here. I'm actually gonna flip this over just for my own knowledge. So number 5 for the year was In the Rain by Mia Au. I'm gonna do my best to pop up a picture here. If I don't, because I forget, this is the kit. It is a little My Neighbor Totoro My Neighbor Totoro kit. It was a square 60 by 75 with 47 colors. So the reason I don't have this kit is because my coworker actually purchased it and handed it off. Well, she didn't hand it off to me. She sent me, let me backtrack. I placed an order of Jade. She purchased this one specifically, so it came to me. I worked on the kit and then I brought it to work for her. The best part about this is I get to see this kit weekly. She actually hung it up in her classroom, so anytime I go to read a story to her students, I get to see this lovely piece. So, like other times that I've talked about this kit, I will not be talking about the rendering or my personal opinions about it, because it's not mine. I just worked on it for her. And I wanted to include it here because it was something that I worked on, and I spent a good amount of time working on it. I started January 4th, finished it February 8th. So I felt like if I didn't include it, I would be cheating myself that time in some sort of weird way. But pretty much I am very happy with how that kit turned out. I think it is very cute, and I hope that she still loves having it hung up in her classroom. So anyways, that's all that I will say about that kit. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, I will flip this back over. I originally meant to have it flipped over for my own sake in this pile, but I guess I forgot. Anyways, this is Bath Diamond Bee, licensed through Marvel. I started January 9th and finished it February 11th for number 6 of the year. It's a little round kit, 38.1 by 32.8 centimeters. Teeny tiny baby. 28 colors, 2 ABs, 2 fairy dust. Honestly, oh, I have a fun note here. I wrote down that this was a cute little teeny tiny kit. Rendering was great. It's adorable. I love this so much. These small little kits are actually a joy to work on. I work, as you can see, like back here, I have a lot of really big ones in here. Sprinkling in these little tiny guys is so much fun. So, and I love Groot. He's such a cute little character. Yeah, so I wrote down that it was a cute kit, rendering was great, and I had to use the pink wax that came with the kit because putty was too strong for the glue. Sometimes I find that with kits that using my like fancy putty that I buy from Creación Morin tends to not work with the glue in a way where the diamonds will stay sticking to the pen instead of the canvas. In that case, I usually just switch to a wax of some sort and it works out totally fine. So yeah, I guess this was one of those ones. Anyways, yeah, very, very cute kit. I love the white AB highlighting throughout here. I think it adds such a nice little sparkle. And I think it was like a green fairy dust. That was really, really pretty too. Green and yellow. So yeah, adorable, teeny tiny little kit. Oh, and that does not stop my... I'll leave this here for now. This is where I tried... Sorry, I walked away. This is where I tried Diyamond Delights for the first time. That's diamondartclub. So I picked up... She had this really amazing drop of anime stuff, so I picked up the One Piece stickers. I just had this photo album laying around, so I put them in here. So these were teeny tiny little stickers. They came with the backgrounds. There was glitter drills throughout them. I just had so much fun working on them and thought they were adorable. So I started these February 16th, finished them the same day. They are round and I just wrote down various sizes and colors. And the artist is Denick. So yeah, a lot of fun. I remember I ran out of a few colors or had the wrong colors for like her top here and something else, but I reached out to the owner. She was so kind and really And she took the feedback well, and she said she's going to do some updating on them, or sorry, check them over, whatever. I can't fully remember that conversation, but I know she was really, really kind about it and would have sent out the specials. I just made use of what I had left over from the whole set. So anyways, it was a lot of fun working on these guys, and I just think that they're the cutest. I really, really hope we get some more anime themed stuff from her because I loved it. So that was number 7 for the year. Next up was, let me grab them. My Spy Family stands. These are actually made out of like wood. The symbols and all that was printed on here. These were so much fun to work on. I started it, the same date, February 16th. Finished them on the 16th for number 8 of the year. And these ones are squares. Yeah. I pretty much just wrote down that I really adored these things. They were so much fun to work on. They were adorable. The grid was great. The materials were amazing. She has a stand. I just have it wedged under about 20 different volumes of manga, and I was not about to fight it to come out. So she's missing her stand, but it is there. Yeah, and I just thought these were absolutely adorable. Like a little Anya. Yeah. I need more like this. I need MHA, my hero. I need my hero. So, anyways, these were a lot of fun to work on. And this was number 8 of the year. I counted the whole set as one. Same thing for the One Piece stickers. I counted all of the stickers as one finish. So, yeah. Okay. Moving right along, we are into kit number 9 for the year. So this is Mermaid Princess by Sarah Mustafa. I started February 12th, finished it on the 18th for number 9 of the year. This one is around 50.7 by 65.8, 47 colors, 4 ABs. Okay. Ooh, so this one was a lot of fun to work on. I'm pretty sure I worked on this one for an event. I am realizing with this logbook, I did not write down events for some reason, which is something that I have updated for my new one, because I'm pretty sure a good portion of these were some sort of event. So this is Mermaid Princess. I really loved working on this one. I don't know. I wrote down that one of the colors in this kit really stuck together. Couldn't tell you which one. But my notes also say I absolutely adored her hair and the specials in her top. diamondartclub really does well with Sarah Mustafa's artwork and the way that she plays with colors in that. The renderings always turn out amazing. And yeah, this one looks really, really good too. I love working on this one. It's so pretty. Is that all I have to say about it? I think so. I'm pretty sure there was some sort of like Disney event that I grabbed for this. Was it Kate's? It might have been Kate's event. Anyways, Mermaid Princess. Gosh, I just love this kit so much. And yeah, her top is pretty much all ABEs, which was really, really fun. Oh, and there was a red AB highlighting in her hair. I am a sucker for a red special. Red is my favorite color. Throw that in crystal, AB, fairy dust, doesn't matter. Automatically my favorite. So there's that. Ooh, and the blue AB down in here too. So pretty. I'm acting like I'm seeing this for the first time. It's been a while. So anyways, Mermaid Princess, number 9 for the year. Ooh, and then we move into Dragon Spirit by Margaret Morales, also from Diamondart Club. I started this one February 8th, finished it March 8th for number 10 of the year. It's around 55.8 by 81 centimeters, 64 colors, 1 metallic, 3 iridescent, 2 fairy dust. This was so much fun to work on. I adore Margaret Morales. She is one of my favorite artists, so working on this piece was so much fun. those specials are all doing like the gold scaling in her, in the dragon's eyes. It's up in her hair piece up there too. The gold up there, there's red in those flowers, in her katana, and I want to say the sash down here, but I'm not quite too sure. But yeah, no, this was so much fun. The dragon is absolutely stunning. I just love the colors in here, and like the blues against the deeper reds. It is so pretty. Yeah, Margaret Morales is one of my favorites artists. Not my absolute favorite. That's a different artist coming up. But Margaret Morales is definitely on that list. And I think Diamond Art Club does her artwork justice. Like her face, usually she has this style of doing more like red on the fingers and around the eyes and that, and Diamond Art Club really does that beautifully, where it doesn't look too bright, like it still blends in nicely with her skin tones. It's so pretty. So yeah, this is Dragon Spirit number 10 for the year. Okay, and then we get into Chartreuse Sorceress. This is from Jaded Gem Shop. It is a round kit, 50 by 50, 41 colors, 2 glimmers. I started this March 9th, finished it March 16th for number 11 of the year. Believe it or not, this is actually the computer rendered version of the kit. At this size point, this artist does absolutely stunning in this style. Jade has since released this one as a hand-charted kit, and it looks somehow even better, but this is amazing. I had so much fun working on it. It was a nice little kit that really did not take much time at all to work up, so tons of fun. This entire background, like this bright green, is a glimmer drill, so that's a lot of fun. And we also have white in her hair for that glimmer. So yeah, I wrote down that I love the green glimmer, clean render. With lots of confetti in the lines, and that was about it. Yeah, usually like in the lines, if it was a hand render kit, this would all be like one solid color, but because this is computer rendered, you usually get like a brown or a blue and a gray, so it's kind of like more confetti within these lines. But again, it still looks absolutely amazing. Now that I see it, I wrote down that I wish her earrings had a bit of a cleaner render, and you know what, I could see that. But that's about all that I have written down for this kit. Again, it is so pretty, and it was a nice little one to work on. And I know 50 by 50 for most people is not little, but in my mind it is. And I think it's just because it is that perfect square. So anyways, this is number 11 for the year. Alright, we'll grab these, bring them up close. This is the Dragon Mini Dazzles from diamondartclub. Started these March 16th, finished them on the 18th for number 12 for the year. I have a feeling these are 10.2 by 15.2, 13 very dust. My only note is adorable. Love them. Alright, very helpful. But no, it's actually very accurate. I have a feeling I worked on these for both Mackenzie's event and the mini one. I can't remember the exact dates that one happens, but I have a feeling this guy was my favorite of the set. He is just so stinking cute. But I have a feeling I worked on these for both those events. Again, I didn't write anything down, which is a real shame. But these are number 12 for the year. I adore how teeny tiny these are, and just having them be completely fairy dust is amazing. So I think I'm just going around in circles. Where's my favorite little dude? We can stare at him while I ramble. These little mini sets are so much fun to work on, and again, a lot of fun to kind of break up some of these larger kits. And yeah, having them be completely fairy dust is absolutely amazing. So this was number 12 for the year. I lost my stack of minis. I'm also trying to keep this organized so cleanup goes a little quicker, but I doubt that'll happen. Alright, the next one is Greek Princess, again by Sarah Mustafa. I started this March 18th, finished it on the 22nd for number 13 for the year. It is a round kit, 42.7 by 58.9, 49 colors, 1 AB, 3 fairy dust. Alright, we're going to read through my notes quickly because I don't remember working on this one. Clearly I did. I don't remember it. So I wrote down that I love the hair and clothes, wish there was a special in her hair, things I'm met on. Ooh, the purple in her eyes, bright red lips, bruised cheeks. I remember that now, okay. So, yeah, a lot of the specials in this kit were actually focused in the background here around her neck and her hairpiece, and that's pretty much it. So I remember saying that I wish there was something highlighting within her hair, and also the purple for the whites of her eyes was a little strange. It looks like it is that way in the original artwork. It boils down to, personally, I would have loved to have seen something a little bit closer to white instead of purple. And then we get into her lips, like the bright reds. You see it goes from brown to purple to bright red. Something smoother in there. Like, it doesn't stand out that much in the original artwork, so that's a different thought. And then, yeah, bruised cheeks, I guess. The skin tones are limited, Sarah Mustafa's style. Both really come into play here, but her cheeks look very bruised with that purple there. So I remember that now. So I kind of wish that was a little bit different, like a deeper brown instead of purple. That I remember. Okay. But big but here, this is still a really pretty artwork. Yeah, like, again, because her clothes are absolutely gorgeous, her hair is done beautifully. So yeah, anyways, this was number 13 for the year. Let's move right along here, because I have quite a bit to say about this kit in particular. So I'm going to do my best to remember all the changes that I made, but I know it was a lot. This is actually a part of my seasonal project or my library series. I can't remember what I named the playlist at this point, but I will link it down below too. So, I decided to work on 5 seasonal kits that I can display at work. This was one of them. Let me backtrack here. This is Springbringer by JoJo's Art. Started it January 26th, finished it April 2nd for number 14 for the year. It is a square kit, 93 by 70, 57 colors, with 2 AVs, 3 fairy dust, 1 iridescent, and I added 2 fairy dusts. At this point in time, I could not tell you what I did with those 2. And I'm pretty sure I added an additional crystal or 2. This is gonna be one where if you really want my full thoughts, please check out the post review. I know I go over absolutely every single little detail in that video. So I adored the rendering on this kit. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Minus, okay, put a little start there. I completely changed how the green was done in these trees. There was a DMC 3818, and I think it was like right through the center of the trees or right on the outline. However, it was a bright green that really didn't fit in with the softer rendering of this kit. And again, in the post review, I compare the rendering on diamondartclub's website, what it actually looks like with diamonds down, and then my changes. So if you really want to see how that looks, definitely check out that post review. And I went in and completely reworked these trees to make it a little bit smoother and not have that bright green sticking out. And you know what? I'm pretty sure I put in those 2 fairy dusts down here to make up what I used in the trees. I think. Again, I worked on this one in January and April, so who knows. I also So I was working on this guy, and these swirls weren't actually completely crystals. There was two regular colors like this, and I decided that for my, what is he, an elk? For this dude, I would completely change these to crystals and get that smoother look to it. So it didn't look so stark like this green swirl back here, like there's all that crystal in there that you can see shining. I also wrote down that I wished against these crystals there was some sort of fairy dust or a bead to kind of smooth out that transition, because you have good chunks of crystals, which I love, but then you get a solid block of color beside it and it just looks a little bit strange at times. Okay, I think that was all I wrote down. But yeah, no, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I know that there's a companion. I couldn't tell you what the companion is anymore, but I know that there's another piece to this that I hope Diamond Art Club makes. So anyways, I really, really love this kit. I remember it being a bit of a slog to get through some of this color blocking in the background, but it still worked out nicely. Like, looking back at it, I'm so happy that I worked on this one, especially like having these cherry blossoms up here. So pretty. And yeah, the rendering changes down here. I know these videos tend to draw on a lot of new viewers. I will always, not always, but making changes to the renderings is something that I have a lot of fun doing, and you'll see that throughout some of these. Like, I am super confident I will mess with the diamonds and the rendering all I want, but adding specials is not my forte, and you'll see that throughout here too. So anyways, this is number 14 for the year. I think I've tried enough. I really like all the little creatures in here too. The butterflies, the dragonflies, all of that was really nice, and this whole like winter to spring transition is just beautiful. So okay, now I'm going to set this aside if I can. Oh, this one was so much fun. This is Necromancer by Crystalbug. I started it April 2nd, finished it April 19th for number 15 of the year. It is a square kit, 47.25 by 67.5. It has 45 colors and 1 glimmer. Now, I picked up the... Hold on. This is cross-stitch conversion. So this was actually... I was following a pattern from Thread Geeks and putting it onto diamond painting, so this actually has a blank canvas behind it. The diamonds and the canvas all came from Jaded Gem Shop, but the chart, this rendering, is from Thread Geeks. Jaded Gem Shop has since released a hand charted version of this kit, but I am quite happy that I did this version. I love doing cross-stitch conversions. I have 2 more in my stash. I am hoping that in the new year I can pick up at least 2 or 3 more. I have the patterns for 4 kits, so we'll see what happens there. But these are so much fun to work on. They just use a different part of your brain. It's neat seeing it come together too, because the canvas under here, or the grid field, is white with a 10 by 10 grid. So seeing it really come together is so much fun. And I have to say, I adore this rendering. This is another one where I do have a post review up for it because I changed her face. In the original artwork and supplies that I got from Jaded Gem Shop, her face had like these really bright pink highlights. So I went in and I just kind of smoothed it out so it all stayed within this gray, green, beige tone. Again, in that post review, I have the original rendering and what I did side by side, so you can really get a good look at that change. But yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. That glimmer is actually in the background. It was supposed to be a 1x1 switch, but then again, you had it highlighting like in her forehead and on the skull, and I'm like, nah, I think I just want it highlighting in the background, so that's what I did. But yeah. Oh, the pink was also in the skull. I'm looking at my notes. So anyways, this was a ton of fun to work on. I really love how like the drapey fabric looks down here, and especially her hair. When doing portraits, there's two things I look for. Eyes and hair are details that I really care about. This one has it done beautifully. So, yeah. Okay. Number 15 for the year. Man, I really need to work on another cross-stitch conversion. I'm just remembering how much fun I had working on this. Okay. Here is a nice little kit. This is the Food Thief. It is by Abraham Hunter. Started it April 22nd. Finished it on the 26th for number 16 of the year. It is a round kit. 60.8 by 12.6. 56 colors. Oh, I have a whole bunch of notes here. 56 colors with 4 ABs. I added one... that's not a crystal? That can't be a crystal. I did add a crystal. I added a crystal, 3 ABs, 1 fairy dust, 1 glimmer. Again, this is another one that I have a post review for. I added a brown crystal to the log. That's what I did. And then the red is a glimmer in here. There's extra ABs. There's a lot. I'm pretty sure I added this green in the log too. Yeah. So, it was a lot of fun. I think I added a fairy dust highlighting along the leaves too. I can't quite remember exactly where I put it. I didn't write it down, but I can't quite remember where I put the specials, but I know I added a ton. I remember thinking that the glimmer that I added, it was like I got it from Mooney Maid. I placed a custom tray order with her, and like there was a little container of glitter diamonds in there as well. I guess it's like a freebie that I added in here. It wasn't a perfect match, but I think it still turned out really, really nicely. So yeah, this is the Food Thief. It was adorable. I really love how this turned out for being such a smaller size point at, 60 by 40. It does look really, really good. I don't think I have much else to say about this. Love how our bird looks and our little squirrel friend. I'm pretty sure this was one that arrived and I just kitted up and immediately started working on it. I just thought it was so cute. So yeah, the Food Thief, number 16 for the year. Ooh. Alright. This one was so much fun. Again, this is another one that arrived and I just worked on it right away. This is Spring Afternoon by Laura Paltrot. I started May 4th, finished it May 23rd for number 17 of the year. It is a round kit, 45.2 by 60.2 centimeters, 52 colors with 4 ABs and 3 glimmers. Okay, I just read through my notes. The colors on this kit is absolutely stunning. I love how this all looks. Like, you have the pinks up there against some blues and greens. Like, you have a little bit of everything, but nothing dark. And it still looks amazing. Like, you don't have any deep dark blues or blacks or anything like that. So yeah, it still looks really, really nice. I wrote down that I loved all the specials. Even like, usually ABs in the background is not my favorite thing, but I think this blue works out really well because ABs tend to have a bluish tinge to them, so it works perfectly with those colorings there. My notes, I have written down that the ABs in the house kind of blend together. There is 2 or 3 different shades in here, and yeah, looking at it again, I have to agree with that note that they just kind of blend together, but it still looks really, really nice. See, this one was from Diamond Artisan. I don't think I've been saying the shop names. I'm gonna try my best. But yeah, no, this one was a ton of fun to work on, and it's just so, so pretty. Again, sweet little kitty. I really do want to get some more of Laura's kits in the new year. Next year or 2, probably 2. Okay. That's all I have written down, so let's move on to the next one. This is Witch's Greenhouse by Ivy Dollamore. I started May 2nd, finished it May 29th for number 18 of the year. It is a square kit, 56 by 71 centimeters, 58 colors, 4 ABs. Okay, so things that I loved about this kit was the rendering, the colors, and the green and pink AB were so pretty. I'm sure you could see that green AB within the plants. There's pink within the flowers here. There was also an orange AB. It's in the top and it's also in the hand. I am kind of meh about the AB being in her hand and arm. I don't like specials in the skin tones, so that was kind of like a meh. But this is still really pretty. I'm pretty sure I worked on this one from Kayla's event, her Ivy Dolomore along. I also wrote down that the grid spacing on this one was weird. Not weird. It is diamondartclub's old style. I think I purchased this one back in 2023. So the spacing on the grid was a little wider than I usually preferred. But I'm looking at this again, and I don't see that. So I wonder if the glue cured a little bit and tightened up. I'm just going off my notes here. But yeah, no, this one is just so pretty. I do love Ivy's artwork, and I really should work on some more. I actually really only have one more in my stash, I think, and that's a new release. I think I worked on all my old ones, and I'd have to scroll through Gems Flow and look. But no, this one was really pretty, and I loved working on it. I did see at some point in the VIP group somebody changed their shirt to be blue, and that would have been so much fun to do. I don't say my spare, so I don't have the colors to do that, but I think that would have been a lot of fun. So yeah, this is Witch's Greenhouse for number 18. Surprisingly, I only hit 18 at the end of May. Weird. Okay, let's set this one aside. Alright, this fun little baby was actually a kit I worked on my birthday. I spent my whole day just kind of chilling at home and working on this kit. Actually did a video of the whole thing start to finish. This is Dragon and Books by Marigona Suli. Started it May 31st, I remember starting it late at night. Finished it June 1st for number 19 of the year. It is a square kit, 42.8 by 42.8, 22 colors, 1 AB, 3 fairy dust, and 1 frosted. I don't know why I didn't write that down. Yeah, no, this was absolutely adorable. I had so much fun working on this one. This is another one where I made rendering changes. Not all of these books had that fairy dust within the spine, and I remember going through and just adding it anyway so it matched. And then like this book is entirely ABs. All those little scales on the spine is AB. There is this entire patch of him is actually a fairy dust, and that new frosted diamond is actually all the stars and moon up there. And I have to say, I am not totally sold on the frosted diamonds in this kit. No, sorry, let me rephrase that. I love the look and feel of the frosted diamonds. I don't love the symbols that diamondartclub uses behind them. This was a really dark symbol back here that pretty much took up the entire space. And in person, even now, I can see that dark symbol through, and the camera won't pick it up, but I can see that dark symbol through the diamonds, and I wish they would use something different, because it really does darken drills and kind of skews the look of the piece. But I do still really love this artwork, and I hope, like, Marigona Suli has had a lot of roomscape pieces being released recently, and I really hope we get some more of her teeny tiny little baby dragon pieces. This is also a partial, like this background is just canvas. It was the books, the dragon, and the little arch that was actual diamonds. But yeah, no, I really love this piece, and I hope we get some more soon. Okay, Dragons Books number 19 for the year. This is the beginning of June. Then we get into Starry Night. Kusin Kaisel, I think is the artist. I get it wrong every single time. I can't say that artist's name. I started this May 9th, finished it June 3rd for number 20 of the year. Round 55.6 and 78.7, 45 colors, 180 for Fairy S. Okay, cool. This one was actually one that was like, it's so pretty, I want to work on it right away. And I only started it because a friend in the Crafter's Den asked me to, so I did. It was a lot of fun to work on though. Like, I really enjoyed this kind of like sweep of the galaxy and all the blues, and that was a lot of fun. I do have to say, let me pull this down so you can see a little better. These purples up in the top here are a little bit too purple in my opinion, because in the original artwork these spots really blend in, where in the rendering they stand out a lot more. But I don't know, this was still a lot of fun to work on, and I think it's still a very, very pretty piece. Behind all the confetti, it was actually a lot of color blocking, which is a funny thing to think about. All of the stars in here was a lot of like single placing and confetti, but then once you place all that down, you just have blocks of colors throughout this background. So yeah, it worked up really quickly. I remember. I know my dates make it seem very, very long, but I was working on a few other kits at the same time. I usually have multiple whips going, so these dates are a little bit off sometimes. But anyways, this is Starry Night. It was so pretty. So pretty. So yeah, number 20. Let's move right along today. I did flip it over. Good. We have another mystery from Jaded Gem Shop. I'm going to go through the numbers and then I'm going to flip it over so you have time to look away or skip ahead if you would like. This is the Spring Mystery number 5 from Jaded Gem Shop. It is by Chrisabug. I started it May 3rd, finished it June 22nd for number 21 of the year. It is a square kit, 58 by 67.5 centimeters. It has 49 colors, 6 lumos, 1 crystal, 1 metallic. This thing was loaded with specials, and I do love that about Jaded Gem Shop. When she does hand render her pieces, there is a ton of specials, and I adore it. So those lumos is actually the yellow for the sun back here. It is entirely within this like veil. The metallic is doing some outlining in her clothing, and I think that's it. There's a lot of it down here too. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. This one actually glows in the dark, those lumos drills. Oh, it's all in the background too, that green. I wrote down that I absolutely love this one. The bunnies were rendered beautifully. She is absolutely gorgeous. And this was the perfect kit for spring. The one thing that I wrote down that I wasn't totally sold on was this background. This pattern right here specifically, just because it was so much like, it was a lot of confetti. Just go with that. It was a ton of confetti, and it wasn't the most fun to work on. But like the top half had a lot of it, and I was very nervous while I was working on it, because again, I don't know the artwork until I completed the kit. So I was very nervous when I was working on this top background, because I work in rows, and it was just all background. I thought it would be the same throughout here. I'm glad it faded as I got closer to the bottom, but man, was that background a lot of work. It's still very, very gorgeous, and I still absolutely adore doing these quarterly mysteries. Okay, so this was Spring Mystery number 21 for the year. Alright, this is another small shop. This was the second kit that I've purchased from this shop, but the first one that I worked on. This is Orange Afternoon by Mac Rustic. I chose too light of a color. I started this May 31st, finished it June 27th for number 22 of the year. This is a square kit, 65 by 35 centimeters, 28 colors, 1 glitter, 2 glimmer. I can't remember what I wrote down. Yeah, that's what I wrote down. 1 glitter, 2 glimmer. One, I love that this included glitters. It's actually in the orange back here. And then one of the fairy dust glimmers is this darker gray in here. And a brighter yellow back in there too. So, I wrote down that I love this kit for the size point. This is from Jolly Gem Shop, by the way. I loved the size of this kit, and I think this is rendered beautifully. I'm pretty sure this was like a pixel art turned into diamond painting, so I'm not too sure how much there was in that rendering process, or if it was just a like able to go 1-to-1. No idea. But oh, I wrote down that I was meh about the grid. As you can see, there's some gapping in here, so I kind of wish the grid was a little bit tighter. But that's about it. It's still very, very pretty. I really should pick up another 1 or 2 from this shop because this was a lot of fun to work on. And they had one that was very, very Canadian. I actually started this at my friend's house, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on. We were having a little diamond painting day. So anyways, this was number 22 for the year. Alright, next up is Rainbow Witch by Rita Konya, or Aria Illustrations. Started this one June 9th, finished it on the 30th for number 23 of the year. It is a round kit, 55.6 by 75.9 centimeters, 56 colors, 2 ABs, 1 iridescent, 5 fairy dust. This was a lot of fun to work on. The background is not my favorite thing. It's a lot of color blocking, so that was kind of meh. But her hair, so much fun. Like, I loved these color transitions, all the specials within them. That iridescent or crystal is these little stars in the background, and that was so pretty. So yeah, no, this one was a lot of fun to work on. What did I write down here? Oh, my one thing that I said was meh about was that I wish there was more specials for the full rainbow effect. I think we get like pinks down in here, we get some blues, but then we kind of, like, there's not one per color type of deal, and I kind of wanted that. Could have added myself, but I didn't think about it until I was done, I don't think. Anyways, no, this was a lot of fun to work on and a super pretty kit. Yeah, the background was a ton of color blocking. Okay, do I have anything else to say? No, I don't think so. She was really pretty. Colors were a lot of fun to work on. So, yeah. Okay, number 23 for the year. Then we are into... I just wrote this down as sunset. This is actually a picture that I took and had turned into a diamond painting as a custom from Jaded Gem Shop. So I started April 7th, finished it July 6th for number 24 of the year. Square kit, 50 by 75, 54 colors, 2 glimmers. So, my notes here are not very helpful again. I pretty much wrote down that I adored this kit. I probably should have went up one more size, but I really love how this turns out. I had this done as a custom previous years from a different shop. I have to say, full props to Jaded Gem Shop for this one. The higher color count, the smaller size in this one, she did amazing with it. In my first version of the kit, you could not make out the rocks here, like it was very much a black blob. But Jade managed to do it where you can see the different rocks in there, so I thought that was really cool. The one thing I wish was that there was like 1 or 2 more glimmer colors. I think something within these pinks would have been fun. Maybe a yellow AB for that sun there, but it still looks really nice. Yeah, I have a ton of pictures that I do want to get done as customs. I know the one with the diamond art has one of my pictures as a licensed kit through them. I did pick that one up recently, so I should be able to show it to you guys soon. But yeah, small self promo, whoops. No, but I do want to do more customs of pictures that I take because I think they're very pretty and there's some really good memories attached to them. So yeah, I really love this. It is so cute. Not cute, it's very pretty. Especially like the water down here. This detail is stunning too. So yeah, this is Sunset number 24 for the year. Something that I noticed doing 2 of these year in review videos, well, I've done 3 at this point. The first half of the year, I am very slow with my diamond paintings. And then we hit like end of July, and I just bump up those numbers. Because yeah, 7 months done, and this is number 24. So, I don't know, it's fun to see. This is Angels by Jenny Lee. I started July 9th. Finished it July 24th for number 25 for the year. It was a round kit, 55.6 by 73.7 centimeters, 43 colors, 5 fairy dusts. Okay, I think I did a post review on this one because I have a ton of notes here. The main thing was, I worked on this one for the Be Happy event that Natalie and Tiffany hosted. I remember that. So anyways, I wrote down that I really loved this kit. I love the way the fabric drapes over the chair, like the movement within the pillow. Our 2 little cats here are beautifully done. I like the shading and brightness with like the sun coming in the window. That was beautifully done. The one thing I was meh about was all of these deeper purples in the shadows. I don't know what other color it could have been, but them being like this shade of purple here just felt a little bit too bright to me. But I still really love this kit. It is so cute. So anyways, that's my notes. And I think having this one be like completely glimmers really suited the artwork well instead of having those like ABs really pulling in some brighter colors and throwing some different shades in here. So yeah, no, this was a lot of fun to work on. Oh, I love this one so much. Okay, the next one is by my all-time favorite artist. This is You My Art. The kit is called Power by Firefox. I started it July 10th, finished it July 27th for number 26 of the year. It's a round kit, 55.6 by 83.7, 72 colors, 2 ABs, 1 iridescent, 3 fairy dusts. My notes again. My loved thing. So I have loved, the rendering was amazing, the colors, the specials, the box, and then that's it. But I do have to agree, this was rendered beautifully. The colors are so much fun, especially up at the top of the balloon here. Like that all was fun. All of these like hanging strings and stars, and that was so much fun to work on too. The fox is just adorable. And these like smoother color transitions in the bottom was a lot of fun too. The stars and moon were very pretty. So there is that. This kit was just super cute. I did write down under kind of like meh, I wish it was almost bigger or a square kit to get more detail out of this little foxy guy. Smaller, the rendering would still be the same, but it would just pull in those details a little bit closer. Bigger, I mean, it would have more diamonds and it would look a little bit more clear. But anyways, no, this was so much fun to work on. I don't quite remember my reasonings for starting this one. I am pretty sure I have Tiffany to blame, but I can't verify that. Tiffany, Diamonds at Tiffany. I don't know why, but I feel like it's her fault that I started this one at that time. Usually I hang on to my Yumeis for ages, but who knows. So yeah, this was number 26 for the year. Gosh, it was so pretty. I have vague memories of a book that I was listening to while I was working on this one, but I couldn't tell you what book it actually belongs to. Okay, and then we are into The Reader's Path by Jeremiah Morelli? Yeah. I didn't write it down in my logbook, but I can see it up there. This is from Jaded Gem Shop. I started it July 7th, finished it August 3rd for number 27 of the year. It was a round kit, 56 by 78.4 centimeters, 40 colors. I can't read what that says. 2 crystals, 5 glimmers. So, again, Jaded Gem Shop does a really good job on these hand rendering pieces, and I really adore this. We have crystals as like the metal book protector, like the corner protectors. The crystals are also in the lights and sprinkled in like the little dust motes up top. And then we have glimmers in the books, in our little mushrooms. I think there is some in the greenery too. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to work on. I did write down that I was kind of meh about the writing on the books. I don't think it is the clearest. I think that would have been better as just like plain spines almost. So, but sorry. I truly love the rendering. It was a lot of fun, and these greens were a lot of fun to work with too. So yeah. Oh, so pretty. I love this one. Okay. This was number 27 for the year. Ooh. Okay, and then I worked on another mini dazzle sets. I actually went on a little trip with my mom in August, and I took these with me as like a small project that I could work on. So I started August 7th, finished it on the 9th for number 28 of the year. These are square, 10.2 by 15.2, 21 fairy dust, and 2 ABs. These were so much fun to work on. And having these, like, these were, ooh, surprisingly portable, which I really liked. Again, I'm used to working on big kits like this. So these teeny little ones that I was able to bring with me was so much fun. It rained on us a lot there, so I had a lot of time to work on these. And that's not me saying it's a bad thing or anything. I really had a lot of fun working on them while just kind of listening to the rain and thunder. I grabbed these upside down. So no, these were a lot of fun. I hope diamondartclub comes out with more of these like full image ones. Sometimes they have like drinks, so it's just the cup. But these full grid mini dazzles are probably my favorite. So yeah, cute. Love the bright colors. Specials were fun. That's my notes. So, anyways. And that was number 28 of the year. I put these in the wrong order. Okay, I can fix that. Man, I thought I had it sorted perfectly. I did not. Anyways, this is Cauldron of Myrrh by Ivy Dollamore. Started it August 9th, finished it on the 13th. Sorry, August 4th. Finished it on the 13th for number 29 of the year. Square, 56 by 74 centimeters, 50 colors, 4 ABs. This is actually the very first rendering. I bought this at release, so it was the original rendering from diamondartclub. I think they might still have this on the website. If it is an updated rendering with fewer colors. I know there's only 3 ABs in the new one. But in this kit, I had a ton of fun working on it. Again, this is the older style from diamondartclub, so there's a lot more gapping within the diamonds. However, this still looks amazing. I had a ton of fun with these specials because there is a off-white and a white. Yes, off-white, nope, white and a purple all throughout this water. There's pink in her tail, in her hair. There's green in the greenery. So I had a lot of fun working on this kit, and it turned out beautifully. I do really, really love all the ABs in her bath. One thing that I thought was a little weird was the outlining is a little bit inconsistent in this kit. So for her tail here, you have like a nice solid black outline here along her top and like in this hand and all the sleeves over here. But then you get onto this side of the kit, there's no black outlining, it is brown. Underneath her tail here isn't really outlined either. And the same thing goes for her hair. Like, it starts off with some really solid outlining and then it just kind of disappears. So, who knows? But that was my one meh comment about this kit. It looks really good though. I do love this rendering. It is very pretty. I'm just noticing her hat has a little butterfly on it. That's cute. And I love this cat. That cat is adorable. Okay, so that is number 29 for the year. Next up, we have the Lavender Witch in Summer by Lyra the Lavender Witch. This one I started August 1st, finished it on the 18th for number 30 of the year. There's a round kit, 55.6 by 55.6 by 78.7, 61 colors, 3 Bs, 2 fairy dusts. Let's read the notes here. Glue seemed light in separating spots. This was another one that I used the pink wax for instead of my putty. Rendering was stunning. Still totally agree with that. Loved all the purples and greens. The specials were fun. I'm super descriptive in my notes sometimes. But no, I did really love the rendering in this one. You have like purple highlights throughout here. There's browns in her dress. There's greens for these plants. So it was very pretty. Again, the top half of this kit was a lot more color blocking, but then you get down into the bottom here and there is a ton more confetti. But it was still a lot of fun to work on. Lyra has quickly jumped onto my list of favorite artists that I would buy almost any kit released by her. I think I have so far. So hoping to see more of her stuff in the new year as well, because this was gorgeous. Yeah, okay. This was number 30. Oh boy. We have 20 to go. Oh, this one was so much fun. This is Moon Girl by Miss Buttered. Started it August 19th, finished it on the 27th for number 31 of the year. There's a round kit, 55.6 by 78.7. There's 46 colors in here, 1 EB, 1 Lumos, 1 metallic, and 2 fairy dusts. And I'm pretty sure I added an extra AB. I just poked my eye. That hurt. Okay. This one had a ton of specials, which was a lot of fun to work on. It's in her jewelry. Her forehead I was kind of mad about, but now seeing it again, it's fine. There is a ton highlighting within her hair, the background. This moon is completely that frosted diamond, which was so much fun. It's so much fun to touch. I really love that. No. No, this is just a very pretty kit to work on. I really don't have much else to say about this, other than it was pretty and I loved all the specials. I should really pick up more Miss Buttered artwork because, again, this is very pretty. That extra I would have added, I think, was this yellow AB along her top here and highlighting in her hair. Yes. So that's what I did. I added a yellow, kind of like buttery yellow. Oh, this one's so pretty. I love her hair. Her hair is stunning, and that moon in the background. Oh. Okay, next up. This was number 31. Okay. So this is the Wonders of Nature Part 2, also from Diamond Art Club, and a part of the Mini Dazzle series. I wish I could give you artists, but these are all done in-house, so there's no artists listed. I started this August 28th, finished it on the 29th for number 32 for the year. Again, square 10.2 by 15.2. With 21 fairy dust and 2 ABs. Again, these were a lot of fun to work on. Little teeny tiny baby landscapes. Incredible. So much fun. I do have to go with, I think, not this one. This one, the moon, is my favorite of the set. It was a lot of fun to work on. So yeah, I think that is all of the mini dazzles I worked on this year. I think. I worked on more than I thought I did. But again, I'm not really one to just kind of flip through my logbook until the end of the year. So I forget about a lot of things. Anyways, those were number 32 for the year. Okay. Next up is the Makemarket mystery. Again, I'll run through the stats and flip it over, so if you don't want to see, you have time to click ahead. So this is their fall mystery. They released 4. I only picked up the one. I actually went on a hunt and tried to figure out which one this was. I started it August 31st, finished it September 6th for number 33 of the year. It is a round kit, 50.8 by 40.6 centimeters, 42 colors, and I added 6 ABs. Makemarket kits do not come with specials most of the time, so I added a bunch. Okay, I'm going to flip this one over now. Alright, now I say this is a mystery. It really isn't. The second you open up these kits, the rendering is right there, so it's not totally a mystery. So I think, like, I don't totally agree with how they do it, but whatever. I wrote down in my notes that the dark background does not help this kit. Our flowers really blend into these darker colors, so I think something a little bit lighter would have been nicer. Again, I added specials, so it's like all highlighting within the flowers here. There was a gray down here, yellows over here. They weren't perfect matches, but I did the best I could with the stuff I had. I wasn't going to go order anything. But yeah, no, I wrote down that pretty much the dark background was not a great fit for this kit. And also, if you notice, all the markings on the legends says that this should be like portrait style, but it looks odd. Like, it looks better. Oh no, I can't pick it up. As a landscape, doesn't it? Who knows? Who knows? I know. As like a fun little Makemarket piece, this was fun to work on. But yeah, the background just kind of meh. So this was number 33. Alright, then I picked up some smaller ones from Artdot. I bought their whole like set of 12. And I worked on 2 of them for a video. So this one has Lotus and Koi Fish by Zoe Lee. Started September 15th, finished it September 8th for number 34 of the year. It's a round kit, 25 by 35 centimeters, 32 colors with 3 ABs. Sorry, I'm just taking a second. I wrote down that the rendering was very nice. I really love the attention that they put into their special placement because it is just within the koi fish. So I really like that attention to detail that they did. And there's some white highlighting within the lily pads, not a lot though. So that was really nice. And these are clearly more hand rendered than computer charted, which is nice. It says rendered by Artdot, so it's a hand rendered piece. I really like the smaller size point of these kits too. I think it looks absolutely amazing and adorable for the price. It was like $50 for the whole set of 12 kits, which is really nice. I will ignore a lot for that price point. And I say that meaning like our little koi fish are very bug-eyed. Like you just have these two black dots for their eyes. I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of a little odd, but again, for the price point, totally fine. So yeah, that was number 34 for the year, and at the same time I also finished up another one from that set of images. This is Camping Under Galaxy Sky, also by Zoe Lee. Started September 19th and finished it on the 19th for number 35 of the year. This is a round kit, 25 by 35 centimeters, 29 colors, 3 ABs. Lots of the same thoughts as the other one. I think this looks absolutely stunning for a teeny tiny little baby kit, like, and it's all landscape. Please. All right, no, okay. Yeah, for a teeny tiny little landscape, this is amazing. Those ABs are all within the galaxy here, and then the center of our fire. I truly love that, and I love how like the glow from the fire and the tent was really captured within these trees. I said I was going to save the rest of these sets for the retreat, but I might work in a couple throughout the year just because they are so cute and little. So yeah, that was Camping Under Galaxy Sky number 35. Oh, this one was fun. This was actually my official entry into Drills and Chills. This is Death by Tex Art, also from Jaded Gem Shop. Oh, sorry, I didn't say. The logo is very clear, but those two minis were from Artdot. This is from Jaded Gem Shop. I started it September 1st, finished it on the 26th for number 36 of the year. Square kit, 40 by 80 centimeters, 27 colors, 2 glimmers, 1 crystal. The crystal actually did not come with the kit, it was something that I added. So this is the computer rendering of the kit too. Sorry, I thought it was sticking. It's not. Our little ghosty here is actually completely made of that glimmer, which is really nice. I should have taken out this little like shading under his arm. I think it just looks a little odd, but oh well. I actually added in a crystal for all of the stars sprinkled in the background is just a 310 crystal. I thought it was a lot of fun to just kind of play with it and add that in. One thing I did wish I changed, and I kind of mused about this in one of my vlogs but never did it, was to switch out the bats, because I can show you this guy. The bats go from like black into shades of purple, and I kind of wish that I had just gone through and made them completely black. But by the time that I finished this kit, I was just ready to be done with it. I'm trying to think of how to say this. Only because the 310 in the moon, all of that color blocking, those ones popped a lot. I don't know if the grid was too small for the blacks, if they were just too big, I don't know, but there was a lot of popping going on in those blacks. And this blue background had so much trash in it. There was a lot to pick through. So yeah, by the end of it, I was just very excited to be done. I do wish there was some more like hand touch-ups within these crystals, and like I should have went through and cleaned up the words death so it was a bit more of a solid color instead of, you know, like you get your blacks and your dark blues and your dark purples. So I kind of wish I cleaned that up too. I think this artist specifically from Jaded Gem Shop would really benefit from having their pieces hand charted. Not to say that this is horrible or anything. My personal opinion is that this artist gets some hand rendered pieces. So yeah, anyways, that was Death number 36 for the year. Okay. We're getting there. This is Space for... Oh, it's gonna grab onto the kit underneath it. I'm sorry. This is Space for Reflection by Chuck Pinson. I started this one September 6th, Finished it September 27th for number 37 of the year. Round kit. 74 by 50. 74 by 55 centimeters. 44 colors. 2 ABs. 3 fairy dusts. Why did I put +1? Oh, I added an extra AB. Eep. I think I only added 1. Oh my gosh, I have a long list of mehs here. So let me read this out. I love the rendering. The trees are amazing. Still stand by that. Like, these trees are just gorgeous. Looks amazing. The cabin and the glowy effect in the windows. So pretty. Meh. All the gray. Oh yeah, I thought all of this gray was a lot to work through the mountains, the sky, and the water. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun to work on. It looks beautiful. It's just a lot of grays. The grid circles. Yeah, because this was one of diamondartclub's really old kits. This was one of the first ones that I purchased from them. This had the very obvious grid circles. So there was a lot of like minor adjusting to try and cover those up perfectly, which wasn't a lot of fun. Again, which factors into the grays. And then tons of confetti, which is expected for a landscape. So yeah, the additional color that I added is actually sprinkled within the brightest spots in these 2 trees. And I'm pretty sure I put more in the window. And I added a green. Yeah, I totally added a green AB into all this greenery too. Huh. So, goal for next year, write down what I do better in my logbook. So anyways, that is Space of Reflection, number 37 of the year. The next one, I'm gonna leave this here for a second, because the next one is actually another, oh no, makemarket kit. This is Moonbats. I started it September 27th, finished it the same day for number 38 of the year. It's a round kit, 20.3 by 25.4 centimeters with 26 colors. Again, very helpful notes. I loved the size, the colors. This was a lot of fun to work on. I actually wrote down the wrong name. In the Crafter's Den, we have all adopted the name of lesbian bats. Thank you, Echo, for that one. So I wrote down the wrong name. I was supposed to put that in my logbook. That sucks. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on. It was cute, it's adorable, it was perfect for the Halloween season. And this one had the very obvious grid circles again, so I wrote down that I was meh about that. I do have a start to finish of this kit on my channel too. So yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. I had grand plans of adding extras, like specials, into here. And I totally forgot by the time I actually started working on it. But it was cute. It's a lot of fun to work on. We had a good laugh in the server about the kit. So, anyways. Okay. Let me move some stuff. Okay. This is the final seasonal mystery that Jaded Gem Shop shipped out this year. This is the summer mystery number, I think it's 6. Number 6. I don't have an artist name. So again, I'm going to run through the stats and then I will flip it over so you have time to skip ahead. I started it September 28th, finished it October 4th. I chose a horrible, why did I choose highlighter yellow? This is a round kit, 56 by 72.8 centimeters, 37 colors, 5 glimmers, 5 lumos. Is that seriously right? Is there 10 specials in this thing? Wait. Okay. I am going to flip this one over now so we can chat. So, this was a ton of fun. Again, I have a whole like unboxing, time-lapse, completion and thoughts of this kit up. And I will probably stick to that format for these Jaded Gem Shop mysteries because that was a lot of fun to do. But anyways, I wrote down that I absolutely adored the colors and the rendering in this kit. I love all of those lumos in the wings. It gives such a neat effect, and having all of those glitters was a lot of fun to work on. Like, you have the whites, you have blues, you have yellows, so yeah, a lot of fun. The one thing that I got this one as a round. Usually I do these mysteries as squares, but I figured because these are hand rendered pieces that I would start getting them as rounds, and I really enjoyed that. Of course, with round diamonds, peel back the cover and you can see the colors on the canvas. But I'm getting like 3 text messages from someone. It stole my attention, I'm sorry. But it was still a lot of fun to work on, and again, I like working on Jade's hand rendered pieces as rounds, so again, if Jade continues to do the mysteries, I will most likely continue to order them as rounds. So yeah, this was a lot of fun to work on. I totally didn't love these symbols for some of the colors within the flowers here. There was like one round symbol. It was like 1 or 2 where the actual coloring of it was black, and it was far bigger than the diamond, so you could see it peeking through. I can really see it over here in person. In camera you can't really see it, but it really stands out in person to me. So I kind of wish that was a little smaller. We did let Jade know about that, so changes for the future, I guess. Anyways, yeah, this was the Summer Crafters Den mystery number, what is that? Number 39 for the year. We're almost there. All right. Next up was The Three Sisters by Lyra the Lavender Witch. I started this one October 1st, finished it on the 24th for number 40 for the year. Round kit, 55.6 by 78.7 centimeters, 89 colors with 2 ABs and 3 fairy dusts. Why do I keep doing that? My one meh thought about this was that the glue seemed slippery in a few spots. Oh no. So again, I had to switch to putty, but other than that, I really love this kit. The colors are just gorgeous. The rendering is amazing. I really love how diamondartclub did all of these colors in the sky back here, but also still really kept that like watercolor alcohol look to the bottom of their dresses. I think it was done beautifully. So yeah, really love this rendering. I almost wish there was more specials in here, but then again, I look at this and I don't know where they could have gone. Like, you have some lightly sprinkled in their dresses, some lightly sprinkled in the background here, and I think 1 or 2 in the moon, but that's about it. And it does look really nice. I had fun working on this one. So yeah, that is the Three Sisters number 40 for the year. Okay. I thought I mixed things up again. This is Midnight Snack by Maddie Arts. It started at October 25th, finished it November 1st for number 41 for the year. It's a round kit, 50.6 by 70.7, 60 colors with 2 ABs, 3 fairy dusts. This is also from diamondartclub, like the previous one. This one worked up really quickly. I was listening to a really good book that I can't remember, The Enchanted Greenhouse, while working on this one. And let me tell you, I put on that book, started working on this one, and I had like almost half of this thing done in a day. The rendering was great. It is a ton of color blocking. The specials were few, but they really added a nice touch. Like, you have them in the candle down here, highlighting along her scarf, the other candle here in the stars, and just along the top of her hat. Which I think works out really nicely for this kit. I think it adds just a nice little glimmer. Yeah, this was a lot of fun to work on. Tons of color blocking. And again, cute little kitty down at the bottom. I think that's all. This one I also have a note for the putty. So I had to use the wax and not the putty again. I don't know why that happened for so many kits throughout this year. Who knows? I don't know. But I mean, honestly, I really don't have a problem switching. Still switch from putty to the wax and everything works out fine anyways. So yeah, this was Midnight Snack. Can I just love this cute little kitty? Okay. Next up, this was actually a really special kit. This is Coastal Lighthouse from Artdot. They actually reached out to me and sent this for me to unbox and review for you guys. So big thank you for them for sending it out to me. That was the first time something like that has happened. So I started this October 28th, finished it November 7th for number 42 of the year. Square kit, 67 by 46 centimeters, 46 colors, and 2 ABs. Now, I thought, why is that ripped? Oh no. I really liked the rendering on this one. I like the size point. Give me a landscape at this size and I am a very happy camper. I also really loved the ABs like in the water and doing some highlighting within this cottage here. Even the orange AB in the background, again, usually not my favorite thing, but I think in this kit it works really well because it actually throws orange this time, so it matches the kit. Yeah, no, this was very, very pretty. The one thing, and I did reach out to Artdot and I let them know, this, in their emailing, when they asked if they could send me this, they really pointed out that this had a new and improved grid field. I never worked on one of their old squares, so I don't know what that previous grid was like, but I did work on this one, and I have to say that there is still plenty of room for improvements. There is a lot of gapping here. Now, for the price point and the size of this landscape, I could totally see myself buying the other 3 in this like idyllic homes collection anyways. Would I love to see a tighter grid? Absolutely, but it is not the worst that I've ever worked with. So there's that. Okay, that was number 42 for the year. Oh, I had a lot of fun with this one. This is The Apprentice by Cat Fedora. I started it November 8th, finished it November 12th for number 43 for the year. It's a round kit, 67.2 by 67.2 centimeters, 40 colors, and it came with 6 glimmers. I added some 13 odd specials to this kit. Now, this is from Jaded Gem Shop. It is her hand-rendered one, and I am so happy I got the hand-rendered because this looks absolutely stunning. The details really come through nicely, the colors are beautiful, and I like the more cleaner look that the hand-rendered kits have. The specials that I added, so there are crystals throughout this whole kit. I made sure that those were completely made out of crystals. Originally I was just going to do some highlighting, but then I decided whatever, we'll go for it. So those are all completely crystals. So is the stars up in the string light up here. That's also crystal. Yeah. Again, I didn't purchase any specials. I would have loved if this highlighting purple was a touch more purple than pink, but I just used whatever I had on hand. Like there's supposed to be a couple more shades in here, but again, I didn't have colors that match, so I just did what I could. Is it a little much? Probably, but I still really loved it and I had a lot of fun working on it. And again, look at this little kitty. It's so cute. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say for this one. I do love the clean details in here. I think it looks really nice and really suits the artwork. So yeah, number 43 for the year. Almost done. Alright, So this one is Tennessee River Sunset by Abraham Hunter. I started August 20th, finished it November 16 for number 44 for the year. It is 94 colors, 94 by 70 centimeters, 56 colors, 2 fairy dust, 2 ABs, and 5-6 specials. I picked up parts of the enhancement pack or enhancement suggestions from DP with Sparklers and just kind of sprinkled them in where I thought they would fit. Like there's this crystal in the water here that is supposed to be up in the sky too, but I just kept those in the water. This yellow sparkler I probably should have just kept to the leaves and the greenery on the side, but oh well. No, this kit is full of specials and it was so much fun to work on. Okay, I say that now. While I was working on it, this had so much confetti throughout like the bottom and the sides here that I was just like, ugh. The center was a nice break, but yeah, tons of confetti. Oh, and I got so annoyed kitting this one up. It was like every single color was just filled with static. It was so annoying. But once I got it out of the bags and into the containers, it wasn't so bad. I also did make slight rendering changes. There's technically supposed to be like stick trees in this background here, but I took those out completely. So yeah, again, this one does have a post review because I did make changes and it is a part of that seasonal project. Okay. What else? I do really love this kit. I love the colors. The rendering is gorgeous. The one thing though is I think our pumpkins get a little lost down here. But that's about it. Yeah, this was so pretty. Okay, this is my second to, nope, I still have 2 other major, like, big kits in this pile. I thought I was getting close to being done those. I'm not. Okay. Next up is, sorry, I have to put my knee up. My legs are getting sore. Next up, this is Moon and Tides by Bear Brickja. I started November 16th, finished on the 26th. For number 45 for the year, it's a round kit, 55.6 by 73.7, 69 colors, 1 AB, 6 fairy dust, 1 metallic. Now, here's the thing, I'm looking at this one. Holy, does this one just, there's nothing wrong with the kit, it's absolutely gorgeous. But I had such a hard time working on this one about halfway through. So here's the thing. I started this and then I caught some sort of deadly plague for 4 days, so I was out sick, didn't touch anything, then go to work. I was like in my bed for 4 days. And then on that 5th day, still deadly ill, I had to go do book fair. I'm a school librarian, so I had a 13-day ahead of me because I had to still do my regular job, set up for the book fair, do the book fair, and then tear it down the following day while still deadly plague. It wasn't fun. So now when I see this kit, all I think about is that like week and I'm just like, ugh. But this kit is absolutely gorgeous. I do really love the artwork. And you know, aside from that week of awfulness, this was a lot of fun to work on. Her hair was stunning. These kind of like swirls through here is all just filled with specials. Her hair is all specials at the bottom, so it's like the glowing under her sleeve. Her earring, the kind of like halo of planets up there. So very pretty kit. Tons of fun to work on. I just did not have a good week while working on this one. So yeah. What did it? Oh, and I also wrote down the background wasn't that bad. Like I said with previous kits, I don't love color blocking backgrounds. For some reason, this one wasn't that bad. Couldn't tell you why. But anyways, that is Moon and Tides for number 45. So, this is Morning in a Pine Forest from Jaded Gem Shop. I started this one June 4th, finished it December 18th for number 46. Square, 70 by 80, 47 colors, 2 glimmers. I'm trying to zoom past this one because while I love it, Yeah. Well, I love it. It is pure confetti. This is computer rendered kit. If there is any hand touch-ups, I don't see it. So it was just at the start of June, I was doing rows, I was having a good time. I put it away for drills and chills, and then I pulled it back out to finish it, and it was just not the most fun to work on all that confetti. And it really makes my wrist hurt. I'm learning that that much confetti is not good for my wrist. So yeah, Morning in a Pine Forest. It's gorgeous. Please don't get me wrong, it's very, very pretty completed. Just getting there was a different thing. So yeah, and again, I love these little baby bears. They're so cute. So cute. Oh, well, I did an oopsie. This is A Woodland Winter's Tale by Orinoco. I tried my best here, I'm so sorry. I did warn that there would be spoilers, so I started this one November 30th, finished it December 21st, number 47 for the year. Square kit, 45 by 50, with 67 colors and 9 ABs. This was a chart art kit. So, this was like a cross-stitch conversion type of project. It was outlined into 20 different days, so I had 25 different charts to follow. They're a lot of fun to work on. I'm explaining this poorly. It was a blank canvas, gridded off into 25 sections, and then I had little envelopes to open up each day for that section. So it was a lot of fun to work on. I think the rendering is gorgeous. The specials were a lot of fun, and our creatures are just adorable. But these chart arts are a lot of fun to work on. Yeah, that's about it. I do have a couple of other ones in my stash that I would love to get to soon, and a few more that I would hopefully that I can pick up in the near future. So yeah, that is the Woodland Winter's Tale, number 47 for the year. Okay, this one is very, very special. This is In This Moment by Yume Arts. I started it December 6th, finished it on the 27th for number 48 for the year, and number 200 overall. Let me tell you, I was counting for like 2-3 months trying to make sure that this kit was number 200, and then I had ordered specials and Canada Post shut down, so then I couldn't get my specials, and I was just, it's a whole thing. The special showed up, started the kit, we're golden, it's number 200. Yume Art is my favorite artist, so I'm glad I can make that happen. It's a round kit, 101.7 by 50.7 centimeters, 37 colors, 1 EB, 1 iridescent, and 1 fairy dust. That's what came with the kit. Julissa, like the wonderful, wonderful friend that she is, sent me a whole list of specials to add, so I went through and did that for this piece. I have to say, and I'm so happy I did. There is plenty of specials within the violin. Up in her hair here, that is full of specials. Her dress and the flowers back here, again, so pretty, so many sparkles. I had so much fun working on this one, and I'm so thankful that she sent over that list to me. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have written down. Beautiful rendering, love the specials, love the additional specials put in. So this was a fun one to work on. I'm actually going to be hanging this one up if I can. I'm going to try. We'll see. When is the question, but it will be put up on my wall. It also, my brother looked at this one and he thought it was Your Line April fan art, and I totally agree with him too. In that anime series, you have Art, the main character, who plays violin, and at the very, very end of the series, there is a moment where our characters are playing their instruments together, and it is like their final duet, and it looks very much like this. So in my mind, I am classifying this as fan art. It is not. It's unrelated. It just happens to have similar vibes. Okay, on to the next. So, this is going to be a very fun pile to clean up. This is Cocoa Comfort. I Lost My Page by Maddie Art. I started this one December 9th, finished it December 29th for number 49 for the year. It's a round kit, 55.6 by 73.7. It is 52 colors, 2 ABs, 3 fairy dusts. Okay. This is like a kit I just finished, pretty much. Yeah, I had fun working on it. It's gorgeous, it's pretty, her hair is amazing, the rendering is so much fun. I truly thought this was going to be my final kit for the year. Tiffany had other plans, but yeah, I finished this one up on the 29th, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna work on some whips, make some more progress there. But no, this one was a lot of fun. I think my favorite special in this kit specifically is the blue fairy dust that you see in these leaves, in these like little sparkles. That was a lot of fun. There's 3 different whites in here. You have the white AB in the mug and the flowers and her hair. The white in her teeth is a different, like, plain DMC. You have the white AB, and then you have a white fairy dust in the fluffy parts of her hat. I just thought it was funny. And they're all like 3865, 3865. Okay, fine, the AB is 5200, but that's still white. I just thought that was really funny. And I really like the red ABs in these little berries. This was a lot of fun to work on. And the rendering is gorgeous. Oh, I did add an extra AB into the greenery. I think it was like 106 or something like that. I don't know, I was just digging through my spares and found something that was as close to green as I could get without being like in your face green, like something more like a muted olive was the goal. So anyways, there's just some extras that I had and I tossed in here. Okay, so that was number 49. I'm gonna leave this here though. The last one. Okay, so it was really funny because I posted in the Crafter's Den. I'm like, hey, here's my final finish for the year. And then Tiffany piped up. She's like, you have 2 days left. Just kit up something small and you could get one last finish. I was like, nah, it's fine. I'll just work on some whips. Filled in my logbook because I am horrible at doing that right after I finish kits. And then I saw the 49 and I told Tiffany. And all of a sudden I am suddenly looking for something small and tiny to do because Tiffany is a menace and convinced me to do one more kit. So here is Snow House by Makemarket. It's a teeny tiny little baby one. Again, I started December 30th, finished it the same day for number 50 of the year, because apparently I needed even numbers. So this is a round kit, 20.3 by 25.4, 43 colors, and I added 7 ABs. So those all went, again, because it's Makemarket, they don't really include that, so I added the ABs into the little snow house, the white snow on the house, sorry, into the tree, and the snow on the house and the trees back here. So yeah, this was a fun little kit to work on for a day. And it was my final kit of the year. I think having something small and Christmassy as a final still works out well. So we made it. I finished out this year with 202 finishes, which is really funny because in my last year in review I ended it by saying I probably wouldn't hit 200. I did. I went past it. And I'm going to end this one by saying I probably won't hit 250 in the new year. Will I prove myself wrong? Probably. So anyways, that is every single kit I finished. This was a doozy of a video to make. If you could let me know, do you like seeing all the kits like this, or would you rather me just like, I don't know, put up pictures? Do you like seeing them in chronological order, or would you rather me like rank things? Is that more fun? Let me know your thoughts down below on that. But I will very quickly, while I have you guys here, take a peek at some of these numbers. So I went through, filled this out, so this was fun. And I wrote down some fun things. So I completed 50 kits. I worked on ones from 8 different shops. 26 of the kits were from diamondartclub. That is to be expected. They have the most space in my stash. And then I did 12 from Jaded Gem Shop, 3 from Artdot, 3 from makemarket, 2 from Diamond Artisan, 2 from Diyamond Delights, 1 from Jollygemshop Shop, and 1 from diamondartstudiouk. I placed a total of 2,118,698 diamonds. Part of me wants to be like, can I get that up to 2.5 next year? No. No. You're not doing that. And then I worked on 24 square kits and 26 rounds. This was not planned at all. I just tend to grab what I grab, and it's really funny to see that it's a near perfect split. It would have been 25 if Tiffany didn't push me to start this one. But anyways, it's very interesting that that's a pretty much even split here. I worked on kits from 33 artists. There's a couple that I didn't have written down as names. I forgot to search for those before. Like, sorry, I can't say it, forgot. I didn't go searching for those before I wrote all this down. Most completed by one artist. Surprisingly, this was an 8-way tie. I didn't work on more than 2 kits per any one artist. So Laura had 2, Sarah Mustafa, Chrisabug, Abraham Hunter, Ivy Dolomore, Yume, Zoe Lee, and Maddie Arts all had 2 kits each. So interesting that I didn't go above that. The biggest kit that I worked on this year was Tennessee River Sunset, and the smallest being the one-piece stickers. The kit that had the most colors was the Three Sisters with 89, and the least being the Dragon Mini Dazzles with 13. I thought it'd be fun to count up how many specials each kit had, and I found the one with the most was the Apprentice with 13 that I added and 6 in the original for a grand total of 19. And obviously favorite kit of the year was In This Moment by Yume Art. So just a fun little look at numbers and all that. I am very much out of breath. My feet hurt, so I'm going to go sit down and stare at this pile of doom that needs to be cleaned up for a few minutes, and then I will tackle that because I need my bed back. Let me know down below. Again, do you like it as in order of I worked in these? Do we prefer ranked? Do we actually like seeing the kits, or should I do it differently next year? Because this was a lot to pull out. It's a lot of work to do these years in reviews. All the props to any creators that do this. They do an awesome job. And I can't wait to go watch a whole bunch of these. I've already started watching a few, but I can't wait to see others come out too. Alright, I think that's all I have to say. Let me know your absolute favorite kit that you worked on this year. I would love to hear it. And I'm going to leave this one here. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.